and we're going to be jumping all over the place, but they always say for the Black American, the African American who's born in America, won't you go back to Africa? They used to always say, won't you go back home? And they'd be like, well, I never been there. What would you prescribe that every person, Black person of melanated skin, go travel to Africa? And if so, where, based on where you've been?
Great question. Would I recommend that every African in the diaspora travel to Africa? I'm glad you said travel, because I thought you were going to say immigrate or relocate. Travel, yes, so you can know who you are and where you come from. Connect with your roots, because that's spiritually necessary, that's psychologically necessary, that's politically necessary, that's socially necessary. Now, if you would have said immigrate, I would have said no, because as the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, I have no intention of taking all of you back to Africa. Some of you are no good in America, so you damn well will be no good in Africa. And I'm of the same way. We don't need bunny hoppers in Africa. We don't need basketballs and footballs in Africa. You understand? Right. We don't need to be taking no problems there. You go there, you go to solve problems, not to create them. You know what I mean? So Garvey never led a back to Africa movement. That's what the white man called it. When people hear the word Pan-Africanism, they say, oh, they want to take everybody back. We never believed in that. And I don't believe in it now. Only those who want to go and have something that they can contribute to the rebuilding of Africa should go back to Africa. You understand? Now, to what you said in the beginning there, the whole world is the kingdom of Africa, because we're the first people to circumnavigate the planet. We're the first Europeans. We're the first Asians. We're the first Americans. We're the first everything. We was on every continent before anybody else ever evolved. If you dig long enough, you're going to find Black folks everywhere in the beginning. So the whole world is the kingdom of Africa, but the continent is the royal palace.
Now, that phase you went through, I won't even say phase, that what you went through when you went to West Africa.
Yes, sir.
Is that something you think every Black person can experience, or do you have to be chosen to go through that?
That's a great question. I'm going to look at it a couple different ways.
Gotcha.
To begin with, in many African spiritual systems, women, Black women, are born with the spiritual capacity to access other dimensions. They born with it, right? Mm-hmm. So the African woman is slightly more spiritual than us in that she's born with that energy. We have to be initiated and trained into it, right? So that's one part of my answer. Here's the other part. It depends on how spiritually ready you are. Here's one of the laws of spirit, right? Your ancestors might want you to go to Africa and go through exactly what Dr. Umar went through to open you up spiritually, right? But are you psychologically ready to receive that truth? Listen, I was born and raised Muslim. That indoctrination was heavy, right? So even after I went through that awakening inside of Goree Island, I still had to deal with some of the indoctrination of Islam that taught me that anything that was beyond the realms of the Quran was not divine. You follow me? And I'm a conscious brother, and I still had to work through it. You see what I'm saying? So remember, spirit will only give you what you can handle. They might want to give you the world, but if you are not psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually prepared to be opened up, it will harm you, and therefore they won't bring it to you. So when you hear that saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, that is exactly the truth when it comes to ancestral awakening. They're only going to come to you if you're ready to receive them. And that night in that hotel room, I don't think I was ready to receive them, but they made me ready because they wasn't letting me out the room. You feel me? And they came so hard that I could not ignore what I've been through. In other words, had I dreamt that, if that was a dream, I would have reasoned it away. You follow what I'm saying? They had to get me awake, sitting up on my bed, because anything else, I would have dismissed it as some sort of random dream. So they got me when I was awake because they needed to make sure I accepted it.
That's real.